You can't see her. Yeah.
All I see is you and Brother Andre.
Yeah. Get on to my right a little bit more. Get on. Scoot over. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Just stand in front of the podium and that's
You got another stool in there?
Yeah.
I had to sit.
This one right
This
here.
is the real talk.
I think it's just Brother
Yeah.
Andre.
You want-
Real.
Unless he's
Thank you,
doing the
guys.
other one. Okay, he's gonna do the other one.
This is the real.
Yeah.
May want this one because it's got a bag.
Yeah, this is guys to help you out. Like I said, the next semester, you're, I guess, the winner for the winter slash spring sports that you about to go into inside and outside the classroom. All right. You gotta re-ask yourself there.
How to deal with stress.
Okay, so as a student, the way you want to deal with stress is to be prepared, and also you want to make sure you're paying attention to everything that your teacher is telling you to do. So, for example, me as a math teacher in high school, it's heavy with notes. Okay, you're gonna get a lot of notes, but your responsibility as a student is to make sure that you take good notes. Good notes means that whatever the teacher says, whatever the teacher is telling you to do, whatever they're stressing means that they're repeating over and over, you write it down. Next thing you want to do as a student, every day you want to study, okay? Whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, you want to make sure that you study just a little bit every day, even if you know the material. Make sure you study. That's another way that you want to deal with stress, because usually students are stressed out simply because they don't know the information, simply because they don't know what's going on. But the best way to combat that is to pay attention, take good notes, and study. Also, tutoring sessions. Most of your teachers, they're going to offer tutoring sessions, sometimes in the morning, sometimes after school. Make sure, if you can, attend tutoring sessions. In addition to that, ask questions. Now, I know that sometimes you may get picked on, or people may, talk about you just because you're asking a question, but ask questions. Ask questions. Also, if there's things you don't understand in class, ask questions before class. Ask questions after class. I guarantee you, most teachers, if you're a student that's paying attention, taking good notes, and asking questions, most teachers will go above and beyond to make sure that they help you. But a lot of times we get stressed simply because we don't know what's going on. And the best way to combat that is to make sure you're taking good notes, make sure you're paying attention in class, make sure you ask questions, and make sure you are studying, okay? Never use that excuse of, I already know what this is. I already know what's going on. I already know how to do that. Always make sure you study, okay? Now, in addition to studying, stay on top of your homework, because a lot of times we're stressed because we're not passing, and sometimes we're not passing because we're not doing our homework, okay? So never, ever, ever is it acceptable to take a 0. Don't ever do that. Anytime you got homework, get it done. Anytime you got an assignment to do, get it done. Another reason for stress is procrastination. So a lot of times what students will do is, let's say they get a homework assignment, they get 5 days to do it, they wait till the last minute to do it. So let's say they get the assignment on Monday and it's due Friday. A lot of times what a student will do is wait till Thursday night to try to get that assignment done. That causes stress. What you want to do is, when you get an assignment, and let's say it's over many days, do a little bit each day. Take a little bit and get it done each day. For example, let's say it's an English class or social studies class where you're writing a paper, okay? If your paper is involving research, you want to do the research first, okay? So you may take that the first day. And then after that, kind of start on the outline. After that, you start your paper. Do a little bit every day. In other words, never ever wait till the last minute. Because if most of us have 6 classes, some 7, some maybe 4 on the block schedule. But if you wait till the last minute to do your work, that causes stress. Okay, so don't wait till the last minute. Do a little bit each day. Okay, free time. Utilize your free time. So a lot of times, what students will do is they may have a lot of homework to do, but they may only give themselves 30 minutes. So for example, you get home at whatever time, maybe 5 o'clock, you eat, watch TV, talk on the phone, social media. Next thing you know, it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, it's time for bed. You only got 30 minutes to do your homework. Don't do that, okay? Make sure that the television, the social media, all that entertainment, that can wait. Your homework, your assignments, that cannot wait. In other words, get your work done. Don't procrastinate, okay? So, as a recap, some things we talked about. Number 1 way you deal with stress, don't procrastinate. If you have something to do, don't wait till the last minute. Do a little bit each day to make sure you get your work done. Next thing, pay attention in class. Okay, if you're around people that that like to talk or you like to talk to, if you can, move away from them, but if you cannot, stop talking to them. Next thing, take good notes. Take good notes in class, ask questions. Talk to your teacher before class, talk to them after class, but make an effort, make a dedicated effort to ask questions. If you can, attend the tutoring sessions. I know some people cannot. If you cannot, then I say ask questions. Did I answer your question? All right, good. All right.
All right.
Yeah, come up and answer.
Anger and like stress. How do you deal with anger and stress?
Okay, thank you. How do you deal with anger and stress? I am progressing in this area. The word says to be angry but sin not. And so as humans, we're going to get angry, we're going to get mad. But as we've heard time and time again, is how we respond to it. And sometimes we always don't respond the way that we should, and you have to go back and get it right. And then this is, I just told the ladies what happened just a few minutes ago with a parent that is very irate with me right now because her daughter has a 79 and she wants me to give her an 80. So the parent's mad, kid is mad, and I'm just like, well, I'm about to respond. And one of the things that I learned like about maybe 13 years ago was to always respond when I am very angry. Give it a day before I respond. Because a lot of times I will respond and carbon copy the principal and the assistant principal with everything I thought that parent should know. So of course they pull me into the office and say, Smalls, you can't respond that way. You can't respond to parents that way. So they told me the same thing, maybe you shouldn't respond at all. But those are times where we just have to think about the way that we're going to respond when people really make us angry, when they make us mad. We have to just kind of scoot back some and think about it because there's going to be a consequence behind that. So had I responded the way that I wanted to respond, there would have been a consequence. I would have been called into the principal's office. We would have had a little chat. And then we have what's called TEEX, and that would not be a good grade under professionalism. And so those are the things, those are some of the consequences. So just know that whenever you're mad and whenever you're angry, if you respond the wrong way, there's always a consequence that's gonna go along with that. So we have to think, before we act and before we say things, we have to think about it and respond appropriately. But like I said, going back to the word, be ye angry, but sin not. Don't sin with it. I wanted to say some choice words before I said no, but that's not the right response. Did I answer your question? All right.
Okay.
I thought it was the meeting next.
So how to deal with being lonely / feeling like the oddball.
Let me elaborate on that. I know you're, second year college? Okay, and trying to live a righteous life. I've been where you are at. And so sometimes loneliness may not just be about having girlfriends and, you see what I'm saying? Sometimes it can be about, right? Yeah, so you gotta, having boyfriends and cause your mind go there when you're in college and you're trying to live right and find that, know that fine balance. Am I right? If not, say, that ain't what I mean, I don't wanna be crossing the bounds. All right.
Okay, there are a couple of areas. He mentioned one. One of them is your mind venturing out, wanting to be in a relationship, but you want to keep yourself because you know what you're being taught, right? So what we're teaching here with Salt and Light Church is preparing yourself and building yourself up spiritually. The temptations are going to come because in your age group, you're going to, see probably people that you know necessarily call friends, but people that grew up with, classmates or whatever, and they are in their relationships and they probably flossing, talking about who they with and so and so and all that. But you have to look at yourself as being set apart. We have individuals in this ministry who can witness to how they kept themselves and waited on the Lord. And I would encourage you to listen to their testimonies and what helped strengthen them to stay on path. But as a young woman in this day and time, it's good to be set apart and to be by yourself. And it's not that you are alone, because you are at a place where the Lord is really pouring into you and preparing you for when He's ready to release you in that regard. So don't count it as a hit to you that I'm not, with someone, I'm not paired up or coupled up with someone, or my boo or whatever that I can show. It's like, look at what he got me. You got to get your mind off of that and just see yourself as being so valuable and so precious of a jewel that you can't have anybody in your life at this time yet, because it's not time. You're not ready. Lord is not ready to release you into that. And biblically, what we're teaching here is that you're not to put your mind on trying to date and have a boyfriend, or even for the boys having a girlfriend, because that's not the order. That's not what the Most High is his instructions for us. Is to be married, to prepare you for marriage. So there's no dating. So when He's put you aside and set you aside for someone, He's preparing you spiritually and preparing your husband one day spiritually for that time when He brings you together. Now the other part that you mentioned earlier about feeling like a sore thumb, don't see yourself as that. We're gonna cancel that right now, because you're not. You just feel maybe like you're out of place because you don't have anybody that you can relate to on your age level. But you are very mature for your age. When I heard you ask the question earlier, I was like, well, you're very wise beyond your years, and you may have had to grow up a lot faster than, you know what I'm talking about. So you had to grow up really fast. So when you're even in this environment and you feel like you're kind of in that place where I don't fit with that group and I don't fit with that group because I'm either too old or they're too young and I'm kind of, right in the middle or whatever, it's a good place where you can actually be a leader to the youth and you can teach them the things that you've learned as you matured. And then the other is you're learning from the adults, because everybody here, like Apostle said, is not here to hurt you. We're all here to encourage all of you, the youth. And we learn as the Most High teaches us, but we are assigned to impart those things into you guys, to train you up. So see it as a teaching opportunity for you to learn something, and then what you're learning, you be that light and that witness to the youth that are here. So that's a special place and an honorable place to be at, where you know that you can pour into the youth. I mean, you look around and you're like, you're older than everybody, but guess what? You can also be a leader also. See yourself as a leader. Don't see yourself as worthless and useless. You're not. You have a valuable place in this ministry to be a light, to be a leader to the kids that are here, and then share with them what you're learning as you're getting out there, because you're the first one that's actually, you're working, you're out there, you see the behaviors of people, the characters of people, you having to learn how to respond in the right way. You can bring that back and say, okay, I didn't do so well today, or I did do great today with what I learned. And you can share truthfully how it really is. Because we can tell you, but then you can also relate to them and tell them on a level where they can probably understand, because you're closer to their age than we are. All right? So don't count it as a bad thing. And don't, allow the enemy to get in your thoughts to make you feel like, oh, something's wrong with me. And, you start feeling lowly. And that's because that's not of God. So look at it. Romans 8:28. All things work together. So even things that look like, oh, it's a bad thing, it's not. He's going to use it for good. So even where you are right now, it's a good reason. And don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a rush. And that's for all of you trying to hook up and connect with somebody. Ignore everybody else. Let them talk. Because you have been set apart. Okay?
I want to say this. Like I said, we're not putting the camera on our youth just for personal reasons and attacks and things of that nature. If anybody will get attacked, we'd rather for them to try to come at us than them. But I do want to say this from our young queen that just spoke. Amen. She's second year of college and working and living righteous, trying to do the right thing. That's commendable. So I want to give you a hand praise. Amen. That's not many on that trail. Amen. It's a lonely trail. Trust me, I've been there. And it's a good one though. You'll have peace, because what you'll see is this: the ones that's out there trying to do things outside the will of the Lord, they're always getting hurt, always got all kind of junk going on in their head. Yeah, you'll know. Like I say, at your age, when it's that time, you got a wealth of what I like to say uncles and aunties. Well, you got to come see them, because I ain't trying to get set back in no way, reason. They got to lay eyes on you. The Bible says, under the multitude of what?
Of counsel, you'll find safety.
You'll find safety. Mm-hmm. So, like I say, don't ever, say, you got to come see my people. Because you know what, because another thing we standing for is what the word say. Right. Ain't finna, hey, I know the Bible. Nah, you trying to get in my pants? What is it? Because if you can't hear the voice of God, how can you know how to cater to me? See, it's more to your body than just being fine, a beautiful brown queen. It's knowing what I need to know how to cater to her spiritually, and vice versa. I need to know, can I hear the Most High for him? And see, a lot of people, no one ever deals with that part. And so that's the part that suffers, because everything is always about the physical. It's physical. And usually that's what's, it ain't watch. I'm so lonely spiritually. I just miss someone just quoting scriptures back with me. Telling me what to say. Tell me what Matthew said again. Ain't that? It's the physical. It's the physical. One of my favorite rappers back in the day was LL. He said, there are two different loves. He said, physical and mental, these are two different loves. Physical is for a moment. Mental is forever. If the physical phase gets weak, all of a sudden, remember, it's the mental. The mental is the spiritual that keeps us together. Yeah. Because that physical go get weak. That physical go get weak. And a lot of times, like I say, this is how you know. I'm going to give you something. Tell me what the Most High is saying to you. This is what you ask guys. Tell me what he said to you about me. And you look them in their eyes because their eyes is the window to their soul. You gotta tell me I can see myself, I got curves. You gotta tell me that. I know that. Yeah, I take us one. I know I'm beautiful. You gotta tell me that either. I'm the apple of his eye. You see? But we're gonna go a little deep. We'll go the whole session on that one. All right, we appreciate that. Amen. Amen. All right, next. Dominion. You would have got you a cup on that one, didn't you? You got a cup of you. Sip, sip. All right. Oh, you got a mic? Okay. Yeah. Being uncovered, yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, baby.
Okay, so how to deal with people that bother you or people that purposely try to get on your nerves just to get a reaction?
Well, I will say that, first off, it is all about perception. The reason that I said perception has to do with how you view yourself or looking outside of it. So you have to think about this. Why are you that important that they want to put their much energy into you? So that must say something about your value and how they see you. Because you're just that important for them to spend that much time to purposely annoy you. Usually when people purposely annoy you, it's for a purposely reason. Either they're jealous of you, they think you're cute, they want to be your friend, or they're just really jealousy is really going to be the root of it. So my response to you, how to respond, is for one, don't give into it. Because when you give back to them or, maybe say something flip back, like, leave me alone, you actually can be encouraging it. Because if you respond back, that's kind of like bait, saying, oh, okay, yeah, I'm really into them. I know how to press their what I call hot buttons. Everybody in this room has those kinds of buttons. Anybody can set them off. But once that person knows the key to your button to set it off, they'll do it all the time. And sometimes they'll do it just to get a rise out of you, just to see how you respond. But you have to be smarter and wiser than that. Biggest thing to do is just look them straight. They say something to you, don't even smile. Okay. That's the, one of the key things I can tell you. This girl I grew up, dealt with a lot of things like that. Also, people used to intentionally annoy me because I was different. I used to try to fit in, but I always kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. I would try to, be cool and want to laugh at jokes or whatever, but when I laughed, sometimes the joke would be on me because I wasn't supposed to be a part of that group. What you over here laughing for? And so in turn, the jokes, I'm now the center of attention. And so what do you think that does to your self-esteem? Kills it. So I say that to you, when people do that, again, you kind of have to know who you are. You're valuable, how important that you are, and not allow stuff to get into your heart. Again, when you respond back to it, that really encourages it. And then, if this is supposed to be your friend, maybe talk to them and say, why, maybe ask them, is there something that, you have against me? Is there any reason why, you constantly do whatever it is that you're doing? And maybe kind of see if this is your friend. But if this is just some stranger that kind of, just you've become their target, so to speak. Y'all know what targets are? These are people that people kind of set out to get to, targeted kids. Oftentimes, targeted kids are the ones like me and you, very different kids. We don't fit in, we're chosen by Yah. We look differently, we dress differently, we think differently, we act differently. We see things very differently than a lot of people. You and I have very similar spirits. We think differently. We don't see things as other people. We care about how other people feel, and oftentimes that's different, and that can be make you a target, you know? So again, my responses to that is, for one, you gotta know who you are. You gotta know your value, you gotta know your purpose. You gotta be strong, keep your head up high, regardless of whoever's trying to single you out. When I say keep your head up high, that means remain confident, knowing you're beautiful, you're intelligent, you're smart. Yah has a great plan and purpose for your life. This is just temporarily. This little person that's annoying me, they're annoying me because they want to either be like me or they think I'm cute or whatever. But, you know, since that I get their attention so much, I'm just going to continue just to be my witness, show them a witness and not respond to them. I may find new friends to be with. When I see them around, maybe I'll go with my other friends over here. You know, I'm not going to kind of put myself in a way that'll kind of get me to be singled out. So it's all about perception. Why is this person intentionally singling me out? Oftentimes it's those kids that don't have what you have. They see what you have. They see that you're smart. Maybe they make gifts. Maybe they're just jealous. Maybe they don't have two parents in their house. You know, maybe they can't wear the nicest or the newest shoes. Maybe they don't have a brother. Maybe they're not fast like track, but they see you are. But it's a reason. It's just how you view them. And then next is going to be how you choose to respond to them. If you respond to them negatively, give in, fuss, and argue back, then that'll get you in the principal's office. And that's on your permanent record. You don't want that. Or, number two, okay. They say something, you know, that you think is cute or want to make everybody laugh. You know, for me, I always had a kind of a look. I kind of learned that when I got to college. I was just, you know, like, okay. What did you say? You know, it's kind of like, I'm keeping my head up high. I'm not allowing that to get through my heart. You know, I'm keeping myself covered, so to speak. So I say that to you, you know, just, again, knowing who you are, and it's all about your perception. Amen?
Amen. I want to say this, I was trying to find it. The last thing Sister Tina mentioned was a lot of times, amen, people are jealous, you know, jealousy is just because they lack self-confidence. And when a person lacks self-confidence, they come for you. And I'm gonna say this to you, because it's what I feel. You gotta reevaluate your friends, what you call friends. And as she was talking, just the Most High gave me this for you is sometimes a person that keep coming at you like that, like they keep attacking you, right? It's because, watch, there's another person that you're friends with, and they'll go back, and you may feel like this, say if she my friend, and I may say, I don't know why I ain't done nothing to her, I don't know why she keep doing it. And then watch, when she leave you, you know what? She go to the person that's picking at you, you be like, why you keep doing her like, it's so funny though. But you should be doing her like, but I can't lie, it's funny. But you think that's your friend. But watch, when she go back to her, she like, you need to stop, she a good girl. But it's funny, huh? It's funny, so the person that you think that's your friend, she the person that keeps going back and forth, but watch, she's not feeling, the pain that you're feeling, she actually think it's hilarious. And every time you say something, I don't know why, I don't know what I've done to her. And she's like, and she laughing under her breath, this is what's happening. And she go back and tell the other, and so guess what? And the other girl be like, and I know I'm gonna watch what I do today. You thought that was funny. You hear me? And so watch, sometimes, like I said, when we're school, you find yourself trying to find the people you can niche with. And sometimes we try to change our character to make somebody, you know, this is who I really am. So, and then me changing my character really means what? I could never hang around them kids if my mom or daddy or the people, my leaders are around, that would never be acceptable with them for me to hang with them, right? But I just want people to see me in a different way. You know, I don't want people to see me low and, as they call you, you know, nerdish or you know, some plain, or what's some of the words they use when you guys ain't all out there like that? Oh, y'all know, y'all get called with it. Goody two shoes or whatever, and I know some of you can't say because they call you, you know, profane words. And so, but that's the thing, you have to find people, watch. You gotta look at everybody that you're associated with. Do they have the same spirit you have? Cause if not, you go find yourself adapted to what's in them. You see what I'm saying? You gotta look at that. Everybody that you saw your friend, do they really have the same spirit that you have? Cause if not, I ain't gonna even say 9 times out of 10, 10 times 10, you go change yourself to be around them. I know I've been there, you know? And so that's the thing. So, and then like I said, it's usually that, and I had this to happen to me back in the day, and only, they wasn't picking at me, but this young lady, she was just telling me, she said, I think I need to tell you that, you know, they hang around you because of how popular you are, but he just told me how he, you know, he's so, you know, I went all the way out there like that, but I thought this dude was down with me, but he was talking bad about me behind my back. So after I found out that, I cut that, you know. And so like I said, you have to just evaluate. And like I said, it's not being mean to anybody. I just, you know, get about your books. Go to your class. Sometimes it's for you to be to yourself, not just stuck up, but I'm just to my class. And the right ones are drawn to you. You never have to, if you ever try to find yourself fitting in, you're already in the wrong. Okay? Okay. All right. Who's next? We'll keep going. Who's next after her? Sister, did I just get, I think I gave it to you. Did
You gave me a question.
It was her? Sister D? Yeah, come on. Okay, was it you?
It was him before me.
Okay.
What was my question?
Who was his?
It wasn't one that asked.
Huh? Oh, she kept y'all in
What was
order.
the question you asked?
No, she had added a
She had
question,
to add on.
and you said you were gonna do it.
She didn't have one.
I don't have a kid, I just asked a question.
Okay, come on up. Cause you go ask it and help answer it, and we'll tag team on it.
So my question was, you know, what do you do if you're having a conversation with someone on the phone and then it turns sexual?
Ooh, I wanna say that one for last.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, cause we gonna go there.
Who has the food?
Sister Deborah, it don't matter. And the question I gave Sister Deborah is something that's very common in school, is finding kids that they call it joning or roasting, joning and roasting, and for kids that are less fortunate, maybe have disabilities, may not be, as smart, may take a little bit, it may take a little bit more effort for them to understand the subject matter. but still you see other kids, are you slow, are you retarded, are you dumb, are you, and soon as they say it in the classroom, the whole classroom bursts out and run, and then that kid continues to go on, and then you find another follower that tags on because we live in a generation, especially with the youth, we want to be accepted by everybody, even if it's the wrong thing, even if it's at the detriment of hurting somebody with our words, and that should never be so with this group or any group, by the way, that share this message. Amen. So I want Sister Deborah, because she deals with such kids that have to have, a little bit more extra to help them learn, may not even have the fortunes of having the so-called quote-unquote name brand this and name brand that. Okay.
Okay, I actually work with students that have autism, EBD. Actually, autism, the autism spectrum is on a different level at the school that I'm a part of. We have those that, actually when I say autism, that means that the child or an adult has challenges developmentally with their brain, not only with their brain, but also as how they respond to things, their learning abilities. Actually, the class that I work with, they are mild. They don't have severe behavior issues. It's not self-contained, but we do have classrooms that are self-contained, and students that are unable to work independently. But to answer Apostle Michael's question about tag teaming and joining someone, that could cover anybody on different levels, not only a student that has disabilities. Disabilities actually, before I respond to the question, disability has a lot to do with how you respond. It means limited ability, and that's all it is, limited ability. So as far as tag teaming, if you see that, or if you're a part of that, you're tag teaming and crossing the line and talking about that other student of your peers, about what they say retarded or whatever. I don't hear that this day and time, but retard or you're stupid, whatever. That's like bullying. So really, you are bullying that student. So I would advise you not to be a part of it. I would get with the teacher about it. But as far as my experience, I've learned in this field, it takes someone to have a lot of patience with the student. And believe it or not, y'all seen me bring one of my students here. You've seen him, you don't have to mention his name, but it's been a while since he's been here. He's actually one of my students, and this is his last year with me. He's actually, wow, he goes beyond his level. I'll give you an example. He gets to leave our classroom twice a day, go to a general ed classroom, one for writing, one for math. So really, when you look at special ed or special need, what we call it special needs, it's really not meaning that that person may be have limited mental ability. It's just a learning disability. I'll give you another example. We have a couple of students in my classroom that are high functioning. They're sensitive to noise, lights, and they can act out, they can tick or be all over the place. It doesn't mean that they're going crazy, it's just how they're on the cognitive level, how they respond to the lighting. But they can still listen, but some have problems focusing because of their sensory. But as far as what I'm explaining to you about this level, back to the person I was talking about that I brought here, this student actually learn from below level to actually almost above average. So don't think because someone's in special needs class, they are not able to do anything. Here's an example, another example. We've had students that misbehave at our school, and the principal actually had, and I've seen this, had students come to our classroom, use our classroom as a model class. We do science, social studies, math, all the above. We had students come sit in their classrooms the entire time, all throughout the day, to sit in on our groups. And that was part of their work. They either come, and we gave them work, either come with work or sit in with our groups. And we've had students that actually corrected their behavior because, let me back up. The reason why a couple of students came to our classroom because of what they did. They poked fun of a couple of our students, but they've learned more about our environment because they sit in and they paid attention and they listened and they said, oh, y'all were different than what we thought. So don't let what you see that seems strange is strange. So in our classroom, and I just thank the Most High for that because of the experience I've had. We've had students that shouldn't have been in there, but they were brought into our school. They should have been in another school. So patience, working patiently with the students. And I advise you to volunteer, help out at Special Olympics. And the reason why I'm advising you to do that is because no matter who's first, who's last, everybody wins. And that's what we encourage our students. They don't see themselves failing. They don't see themselves as losers. Yes, there are challenging times with us teaching. There are challenging times, for them. But in the long run, we always come out laughing with each other because they don't find anything wrong. We do correct them.
Right.
But they don't find anything wrong because we work with them on their level.
Right. I want to say this,